Hey guys, what's going on? Jeez, it is David here. We're back with another video. Now, in my previous video, I talked about Graham Mertz, the quarterback for the Florida Gators when it comes to the 2024-2025 season. And in this video, we'll be talking about the schedule and predicting the Florida Gators 2024-2025 schedule when it comes to this season. Now, with the first game up, we are going to be facing the Miami Hurricanes. The last time the Hurricanes came to play in Florida, Tim Tebow was still around. That was back around 2010, 2011. So it's been quite a while since the Hurricanes came to the swamp. But in this instance, I'm going to have the Hurricanes losing against the Florida Gators. And the Florida Gators beat the Hurricanes, then beat Sanford. That should be an easy W. If it even comes to a close game against Sanford, that is the alarm to say that this Florida season is going to be terrible. It's going to be. Third game of the season is going to be home against Texas A&M. And Texas A&M, of course, lost, I believe, one of their wide receivers. They lost their quarterback, if I remember right. So it's going to be a very familiar thing. And I also believe that they're going to have a first-year head coach coming into the team. Even though I do think that Texas A&M is still going to be a tough opponent considering they do play in the SEC. And I'm going to say that Texas A&M give us the loss in our final home games to start up the season before we head away to Mississippi State, where we're going to beat Mississippi State, then lose at home against UCF. UCF seems like out of all the Florida teams right now, UCF and their quarterback, wide receiver, and the running back, it just seems completely set. Florida State's going to be up there. Miami is going to be here and there. Florida, it really depends on how good the defense and the running game can be when it comes to this season. But we're going to lose against UCF before picking up back-to-back W's against Tennessee at Tennessee and then at home against Kentucky. But then, this is going to be the two games that I'm going to be looking out for when it comes to me being a Florida Gator fan. Georgia, obviously, which is going to be played in Jacksonville, and then Texas, whose first year in the SEC, Texas kept their quarterback in Quinn Ewers. They still have a star running back that was coming up. The wide receivers are still going to be there, so it doesn't really matter. They got familiar towards the end of the season considering the fact that, they were already qualified for the playoffs, so it didn't really matter. So we're going to lose these back-to-back games against Georgia and Texas, picking up a win against LSU. LSU just lost their quarterback for the past 2 years in Jaden Daniels, and it's going to be an interesting game. That's going to be a home game against Florida. Florida, the last time we played LSU, I remember one of the times when we were playing against Nathan Richardson, it came down to a guy that threw his... What did he throw? He threw something, and it ended up causing a penalty, and then LSU went down and kicked a field goal and won the game. That's not going to happen if Florida beats LSU. And then the final two games of the season against Ole Miss and FSU. This is going to be a weird one because Ole Miss, obviously, we're going to be playing against Jackson Dart. And then FSU is going to be a very interesting one because, obviously, that is a rivalry week. UF versus FSU. Florida versus Florida State. It's going to be a very good game. But considering that their quarterback, who was absolutely fantastic and helped them go undefeated last season, went in the draft, is going to be a new quarterback getting familiar with the system. Do I think that he's going to get familiar with the system by the end of the 12 games? No, I do not. I feel like he's just going to start hitting his stride when he gets to around the 12 games. That's when he's going to start picking up his stride. But considering that Graham Mertz is going to be familiar with the Florida system, he's going to be familiar with Eugene Wilson, who I'm expecting to have a breakout season. It's just going to be another win for Florida. And when it comes to the Ole Miss game, we're going to lose against Ole Miss. So, when it comes to my official predictions for the Florida Gators 2024-2025 season predictions, I'm going to say the Florida Gators are going to finish 7-5. But here's the thing. When I did my Atlanta predictions, I also did my best and my worst for the Atlanta Falcons. I'm doing the same thing for my Florida Gators. The best record the Florida Gators can have this season is 9-3. But the worst record I think that the Florida Gators can have, I do not see the Florida Gators picking up less than 5 wins. If we pick up less than 5 wins, this season is an utter disappointment. Graham Mertz probably digressed, and we're going to be ready we're going to be ready for the quarterback of the future to take over from Graham Mertz, who's going to be heading into the draft next year. But in terms of Florida, when it comes to the 2024-2025 season, Florida Gators are going to go 7-5 and possibly get a bowl game where we may get blown out. We may win. It'll depend on this. But I want to know your guys' opinions down in the comments down below. And I'll see you guys all next time. Peace.